You just loaded up TM Talk, the one pod to learn it all. I'm Professor Tommy.
And I'm Professor Ashley. Whether you're new to the Pokemon TCG or a seasoned trainer, we're here to help you level up your play, master the rulings, and grow your community one episode at a time.
Welcome to TM Talk. We're here to help you enter the scene, level up your game, and build your local league. This is our very first episode. Super excited to record this. What we want to do is just kind of start a podcast that helps people learn a little bit more about Pokemon and hopefully improve their game. Our first episode, I think, is just going to be us just introducing ourselves, figuring out what we're doing this for, why, and what we're trying to get out of it. So, Ashley, I'll start with you. Like, what's your first kind of like, what got you into Pokemon and what got you here?
Oh, man. I can think back to whenever I was a little kid, whenever Pokemon Red and Blue, when that first came out.
Yep.
I have 3 younger siblings, and we all played Pokemon. And so getting Pokemon Red for, I don't remember, a birthday, Christmas, something. And I remember just playing it all the time. It was one of the only games that I could actually sit down and play for hours on end. I played through the game a lot and multiple times with every single Pokemon, but I think my favorite was always going to be Squirtle. And he always helped conquer the very first gym. I mean, Squirtle against
rock types.
against the rock types. Perfect.
Yeah.
So what about you, Tommy? What was your first memory about Pokemon?
Yeah, so same thing. I had the original Game Boy. I actually still have it over there. And I got Pokemon Blue. I don't remember for like Christmas or something, but that was the first one I got because everybody was getting red. So I was like, no, I'm going to get blue because a turtle with cannons, why not?
Yes.
But I always loved Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur was my favorite starter because he could beat the first 2 gyms.
Mm-hmm.
He can go through Brock, no problem. He can go through Misty, no problem. And he's cutting things left and right, whipping some things up. So I've always liked Pokemon when it first came out. I was a little bit older when Pokemon came out, the game anyway. And then I got into the anime and watched that for a long time, like the Kanto region one. And then as I got older, I kind of like phased out. I never played any other games besides Red, Blue, and Yellow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
So I stopped after Yellow and then but then I played Pokemon Stadium like on the N64, and then I played like Super Smash Brothers. I was like, oh, cool, Pikachu's in here. And then when that came out on the 64 as well, and then GameCube, all that kind of stuff. And then I fell out of it, but I got back into it because of my kids. My kids started collecting Pokemon cards, and like when I was in school, Magic was like the big thing. I never played like the card game or anything like that, or even like collecting Pokemon was fine. Like people had Pokemon cards, but nobody ever played it like in like around me or stuff like that. So when we started having kids, they just started collecting because their friends had some, so they wanted to collect. So we bought some cards and they liked them, and they were trading back and forth. And then finally, I was like, well, like finding out that cards actually are worth money. These beautiful things of cardboard actually are worth more than the $5 you paid for the pack. I was like, oh, we should probably learn about this stuff and get a little better at it. So luckily when we moved out to Oklahoma, a good buddy of ours started the Pokemon group in the library. And like we just saw the Facebook post. We're like, oh, that's cool. Like, let's go there and maybe they'll teach us some stuff. And then it taught them how to play the game. And I was like, well, I missed so much of their life when I was in the military and stuff. I was like, this is a perfect time for me to catch up, play something with them, spend some time with them.
Good bonding time with them, yes.
Yeah. But then I got hooked. I love the game. And I think I like it more than them. Honestly. They still play. But I really do like playing. And now, here I am today. We have our official league. We have so many people coming to the league.
Yes, and it keeps growing too.
It keeps growing, which is awesome. Because then more kids are coming, more kids for my kids to make friends with. And then I see the other parents coming in with their kids, sharing that same experience. So it makes me want to keep going and doing that. So that was like my thing. I guess I went from origins to my journey together.
You just took the whole thing.
To the whole
journey.
Yeah.
Let it go. I remember whenever I was younger, after playing the games and stuff, we would always see commercials on TV about like the trading card game and go to your local league. And whenever I was younger, I didn't know how to do any of that. I always had like this longing to go and play the Pokemon. Like we played it at home, but it was never we didn't play it correctly. I can tell you that right now. But we would always try and build our own decks, and we would battle against each other. And so it was something that I really wanted to try, but I just didn't know how. And from a small town of about 50,000 people, for me, it was just hard to figure out where to go. Mm-hmm. And so whenever I became older, this was around, I think, the Sword and Shield era. I lived in a smaller town, but they actually had a card shop. And that was the first town that I'd ever lived in that actually had a card shop. And I went there one time, and I was just amazed by all the different cards. And this was so amazing. And I remember around, it was either Astral Radiance or Lost Origins era that they were doing a pre-release. And I was interested because I was like, oh, I've always wanted to try and learn how to play. So I went there and I had a lot of fun. And then after that, it was just kind of, I took off from there. So once Scarlet and Violet era came out, I decided that I actually wanted to get into the competitive scene. And so I was on the computer like pretty much every single night. Like, where do I go for this? How do I do this? And it was really hard to find some of the information, even though there was like a little bit of a scene there. So now I'm glad that we have this league and I know a lot more. I'm a lot more knowledgeable. And now I'm hoping that from what I've learned, that I can help others learn what they need to do in order to get started to play.
Yeah. Yeah. Then same here. Like I love seeing it. I love seeing the community grow. I love seeing like the kids come in and like not knowing what they're doing, or like, well, I want to play Pokemon. I've been collecting forever and my friend plays. I don't know what I'm doing. And then teaching them, seeing them get it. Like, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. And just doing that. So like, that's kind of like where I like started. And I know that me and you met through Pokemon as well.
Yes, that's exactly how we met.
Yeah, through the league as well. And like, it's awesome because no matter what age you are, you can always meet people that like this, you know, like Pokemon, and play and then make friends and things like that. So it's super cool. And like we met like 2 years ago from the league, from the library. Yeah. And then taking the league to our card shop and making it from like a group mm-hmm. to an official Pokemon league was kind of like what drove the catalyst for me to be a professor, because everybody's like, well, we need to, you know, I guess you have to be a professor to run a league, or like to create a league, you have to mm-hmm. be a professor. And so there's like 4 of us that were like talking about, okay, we'll take the test or whatever.
Mm-hmm. And you were the first one to do it. So.
Yeah, exactly. And like nobody, like, I took the test and I failed 4 times because I didn't know where the information was. Like I knew how to play and all that. Like I knew how to play. I didn't know a lot of the rules and stuff like that, or like the in-depth stuff that they ask you on that mm-hmm. Quiz. I was like, I don't know. You know, I'm like trying to search online and stuff like that, but finally got it, because it's just like a little by little. I was like, oh, here's this resource. Oh, here's this resource. And then knowing, like, trying to figure that out and finding those things, I was like, man, wouldn't it be great to have a place to be like, hey, this is where everything is for you to know what it is to be a professor, or even just the in-depth rules of the game, of a tournament, of like when you go walk in, because your first tournament is always like this. You're like, I don't know what to do, what's happening.
It's so nerve-wracking.
It is. Like, even though if you played casually, like I know my deck, I'm fine, I'm playing, but it's like the time limit. What does this mean? What is this Swiss ranking? What is the Swiss round?
Yes.
Like, how do I know who I'm teamed up with? And even just finding table numbers. Like, what is a table number? Like, what am I looking for? To understand all that kind of stuff. That's kind of like why I wanted to start this podcast, was to kind of like help people find that information a little bit faster, and then like in one place, mm-hmm. instead of fumbling around on the internet trying to find some things. Hopefully we could shed some light and just say like, hey, check this out, or this is where you can find this, or if you ever want to get into competitive, this is like the steps you should probably take to be a competitive player, or just taking your kid because they want to collect, or they just want to enjoy Pokemon somewhere and meet some friends. This is where you can go. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's why like I wanted to do this for that. That's kind of what I want to get out of it, is that hopefully that people take our podcast, they listen to it, and they learn something new, or they learn something they didn't know about the game, or about the community, or about what it is to be a professor, or anything like that, and be like, oh, cool, I learned that today from this.
Mm-hmm. See, and a lot of the reason that I wanted to become a professor was, one, the main reason was
to help
but it was to help you out, because I didn't want you to be the only one to have to do everything. It wasn't fair, and we were still fairly small at that point, transitioning over from doing just the small group in the library, because I had just moved back to town around that area, and that you guys were still, like, you guys had your group at the library, but then I moved, and I was in that transition period from going from the library to the shop. And I didn't want you to have to be doing everything, but I also saw it as an opportunity for me to learn more, because the year before I had focused on, hey, I wanted to be a competitive player. What all do I need to do? And I just took a nosedive right into that. I went to a few regionals. I was like, let's go big or go home. And that's exactly what I did. So then after that, I was like, well, if I become a professor, maybe this will kind of help me in my play as well, because then I'll understand the rulings a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because some of the rulings, they get really, really tricky. If you think about it, like, oh, should I promote this? If we could both get knocked out at the same time, who promotes first? That kind of stuff.
Yep.
And even to this day, like, I'm still learning new things every single day. And it's a lot of information, but it's so satisfying whenever you finally grasp it, or you are able to teach it to somebody, like some of the kids in our league. Some of them are really starting to get into it, and they're understanding it a lot better.
Yeah.
And it's so awesome to see that. And that is one thing that I really like about being a professor, is helping the community and building it from just a small little group. And now we have a lot. It's at least doubled.
Yeah.
If not tripled in size, just since we've moved to the shop.
Yeah, it has, and it's slowly grown that way. And I think it's from our want to grow the community.
Yes.
I think what we were talking about earlier is that there's a lot of shops, or maybe that are ran by, or there's a lot of leagues that are ran by shop owners who only are like, hey, I just want the profit. I just want you guys to come in, pay for the cup, pay for the challenge, get out of here, buy my stuff, and go. And that's kind of the experience that we've had from some of the shops we've been to. But there's also those shops that are like, hey, we want to grow the community. Like, what can we do? How can we get more people involved? How can we get more kids involved? Because that's the future of the community, of the hobby, is having these kids who want to collect, want to play, and help keep the community going and building that community of trust. Because it's like those people who get there, make friends, and keep playing because they want to come see their friends and want to have fun. That's the biggest thing, is making the league fun. So like, if all you know of Pokemon, the TCG, or any of the other videos is being competitive, how do you make it fun, right? And there is a lot of fun stuff out there.
There is so much fun stuff.
And a lot of resources that Pokemon provides you, or like, they're just out there. It's up to your imagination, and hopefully we can help other people find that to grow, because we have more than tripled our numbers.
Oh yes, for sure.
We have almost 60 like regular people coming, not all at once, but they do come.
But they trickle in every once in a while.
Yeah.
Some of them, and some of them are in the military, so they're kind of back and forth, or some of them are students, or some of them are still juniors, so they have to wait for their parents to bring them. But they still come when they are able to. And then we have a group that is pretty much there all the time.
Yep.
And whether they come one day out of the month or once every 2 months, it still helps the numbers, and it's still part of the community. And that's what I like about it, is that even if they're not there every single week, they still feel a part of the community.
Yeah, 100%. So that's what we want to help people do, is like people like us who want to grow the community, and who are listening to the podcast. Hopefully you want to do the same, and and hopefully we can give you some ideas to help you do that, and help like just have those leagues there for welcoming environments for people to come in and enjoy the hobby however they see fit. So like, So let's talk about, you talked a little bit about your competitive journey, Ashley. You're a bigger competitor than I am. You have been to more regionals than I have and stuff like that. So like, as we talk about this, like what kind of like events have you gone to that you were like, wow, this is a really good event? And then what kind of events have you worked at, like on the other side, the professor side, to see like what does it take to make that event so good?
So comparing competitive play to professor play, when I first started, I started out going to just like a couple challenges because I learned about how the regionals worked and information about that, and I really wanted to go to one, but I didn't want that to be my very first event.
Yeah.
So I started out just playing in a couple challenges. I think I went to like 2 or 3 challenges before that, and then it was my very first one was in Peoria, and it was so amazing just walking in and seeing everything Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like, it was such an awesome feeling, and I lost so much that day, but I had so much fun, and I made so many friends. And even to this day, there's one of them that I talk to on a regular basis, and every time we go to a regional, or he'll text me and he's like, hey, are you going? And I'll text him, hey, are you going to this one? And it's amazing knowing that you can make friends like that and just going to different regionals. So I went to, I can't remember the exact amount, but it was at least 3 of the regionals, and then I did NAIC because everybody, the locals that I was a part of at first, they told me that if you go to any event, you need to go to an international because they set up the Pokemon Center and it's a completely different experience from a regional. And I have to agree. The regional is super, super fun, but the international is way much more fun because Pokemon actually like puts that on, and they have so many events. They have the Play Lab. They have like the one that we just went to at NAIC just like last month. Or this month, actually, just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. We're not in July yet.
Yes, it's not July yet. But they had coloring pages. They always set up old style games like Pokemon Stadium, Puzzle League. They have side events, the Play Lab, the trading corner. It was so much fun. And now that I've been able to experience that stuff as a competitive player, I would like to experience that as a professor. So my goal this season is to try and staff at least one really big event. Like, even if it's just doing something simple as like doing the side events, that would be super, super fun. But it's been a journey so far.
Yeah, for sure. And like we had the same goal, and we talked about it earlier before that we both wanted to kind of staff an event this year and kind of experience it from the other side, because my first competitive was the Pokemon Blue on the Game Boy. They did like roving. I forget, it wasn't like what it is today. Like it wasn't a regional or anything like that. But there was like an event at the mall. I remember this. I was like maybe 12 or 13. And there's an event at the mall. They're like, hey, like come play Pokemon, and you'll get like, if you come here and play in this tournament, you'll get a free Mew. Like we'll transfer Mew to you. I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. And I was like, I played on my game. I'll smash everybody. And no bug catcher could be safe from me. And like I beat the Elite Four. I beat the whole game, whatever like that. And so I was like, oh yeah, I'm really good. I could go win this. And I got smashed. Freaking tournament. Like there's
a little overconfident.
Yeah. I got like, there was just people who were just like playing the game, like knew the strategies of the thing. And like, even then at that age, I was like, oh, you've done this before. Like, I was like, oh, nobody else has played in this. Like, I'm going to I've never played anybody else on the Game Boy. It was a stupid cord. You had to connect to your
the link cable.
Yeah, the link cable to the other Game Boy, and you had to go to the Pokemon Center in the game and be like, okay, I'm gonna go into into Bill's Matrix world and battle somebody.
Way ahead of his time.
Yeah. So that was crazy. I was like, oh, when I got done, I was like, well, I'm glad I got this Mew, but that sucked. I'm never doing this again. Fast forward to TCG, like I've playing for a couple months, and then buddy of mine was like, hey, I'm gonna start playing competitively. Do you want to come? I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? Like, we went to a cup. So I didn't go. We never played at like a league challenge. We went straight to a cup at like in the middle of Oklahoma City, where there's tons of people who are competitive there. And I'm gonna walk in there with my Zoroark deck, like, oh yeah, I'm about to run the gambit. Nobody knows how to play against this. Everybody knows how to play against Zoroark
Yes.
at that time. So I got smashed. And actually, what was funny is that during that whole cup, as I lost, like round one lost, 2, 3, 4, and I'm like, this, like, more and more I'm like, this sucks. I'm never doing this again. Like, I hate losing. And in round 5, I was paired with a junior. And I was like, okay, so I'm the odd man out. I have to play the kid. And I was like, how humiliating, right? But playing the kid, he was super cool. Like, he was there talking to me about, like, oh, I love Pokemon so much, and telling me how much he loves the game, how much he enjoys it, and just like having a conversation with me. And I was like, dude, like, this is what it's about.
Yes.
And like, it doesn't matter. Like, this is my first tournament. It doesn't matter if I win all of them or I win none of them. It's fun to meet these people, like, hear their story, and like have that connection with people. Like, yeah, I like Pokemon too. That's really cool. And yes, this kid smashed me too. But
they probably also played a lot more.
Yes, yeah, he played a lot more than me and all that kind of stuff, and it was fun. And so he saved me from the ashes of, I'm never gonna play this again, to like, okay, I'll try this again later.
He lifted your spirits.
Yes, he did.
Yes.
Yeah. So, going into the regional, I was following, like, I played more challenges and cups in the month of December, and I did better there. I won some games again. So I was like, all right, I'm done playing this rogue deck. I'll play, at the time, Roaring Moon was like decent enough to play. Played that, was winning, did pretty well. And then my first regional was the San Antonio regional of 23. And that was cool. Like, I'd never, like you said, coming in like, whoa, like, this whole convention center is full of Pokemon stuff.
Yes,
Everybody's about
so
Pokemon.
cool.
Yeah. And it was awesome, like, to see that, and then meeting the people there was really neat. And then, like, playing against other players, and everybody was really nice and inviting. Like, they're like, hey, like, this is your first regional. I'm like, yeah, it's my first regional. I'm like, hey, no matter what you do, you should play it out. It's fun. And like, no matter how you do or anything like that. So I did great. I started off really good, and then I slimmed back down to like, I think my record was like 2-4, 2-4-1. And then I was like, okay, I'm not having fun anymore. I'm gonna drop for the last 2 rounds or something like that. But it encouraged me to go again and doing better the next one. And so, like, I wanted to have that. I wanted to, when I became a professor, to start the league and just do it. I was like, I want this place to be a place where people have fun and they go, hey, I had a great time at that league when I went to the cup or challenge. I want to come back.
Even if they lose.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Even if you went 0-5, but you're like, oh, I had a blast, I'm coming back.
And that's what I like about our group of people too. Like, we have some of our competitive players, but we also have some that really like rogue decks. And, or just for example, one of our fun June tournaments, we had the no rule box tournament.
Yeah.
And then I also banned a few extra cards just to make it a little bit more exciting. And one of our juniors, I wish you could have seen their deck. They came up with the craziest deck. It literally had about 4 or 5 Pokemon, but they won, I think, just about every single round that they played. And I don't know how they came up with this, but it reminded me of when I first started playing and I wanted to get into the competitive. I did not know anything about the meta at that point.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, this is cool. How do I build a deck? Let's just throw some cards together.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I did. And so it reminded me of then, because even though I had these crazy decks, I still won like a game or two, and it was still fun. And sometimes I like going back to that kind of stuff instead of always playing meta, because it brings out the fun aspect of Pokemon and just the pure enjoyment you get out of playing Pokemon.
Yes. Yeah. And I totally agree with that. Like, I think being able to switch it up and play fun tournaments, playing different formats than just standard. Like, even if you go to GLC or you do expanded, there's a Ditto draft there, but then like you did, right? You made up your own format, and that's really cool, because then it's like, it's different. Everybody's on the same playing field. I always believe that, like, even with pre-releases, usually pre-releases are the big event that like tons of people show up.
Pre-releases are like one of my favorite formats.
Yeah. And it's like, it's a format that like you can play as many Pokemon as you want. You can only have 40 cards, whatever, but it's it's fun. People come because it's fun and they want to see the new cards. See, you know, of course they want to pull all the cool new cards and stuff like that. But you get so many people who sit down and play because they just want to have fun playing.
Exactly. And then a lot of the times it's people that don't normally come to leagues so they can get the new cards, but also just because it really is fun.
Yeah.
And they don't have
it's not pressure.
They don't feel the pressure of being perfect and, oh, I have to play this deck because it's quote unquote good.
Yeah.
Or so it brings out a lot more of the fun side of Pokemon.
Yeah, for sure. So I think doing those kind of things helps grow that community.
Yes.
Right? Because not everybody wants to be competitive. Not everybody wants to, like, you know, stand on top of the stage at Worlds and be like, yeah, I won.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody wants to have fun playing Pokemon.
Everybody has different goals for themselves.
And it's figuring out how to connect to those people and figure out what's fun for them in Pokemon, and then using that to say, like, okay, cool, let's have fun this way.
Mm-hmm. And the professors are literally just a stepping stone for that.
Yeah.
We're kind of like teachers.
Mm-hmm.
We give you the resources you need in order to help you take the first step into whatever journey that you want to do. It's like choosing your very first starter Pokemon. You could choose Squirtle, Charmander, Bulbasaur. You could choose Sprigatito, Quaxly, or Fuecoco. You are in charge of your own journey.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about it.
Yeah, and we're here to guide you along the way.
Yes.
You know, that's what professors do. Professor Oak guided you, and you know, in the very first game, and said, "Hey, sorry, I'm out of Pokemon, but here's this one I put in the dumpster, and it's your best friend now."
It's rubbish.
Yeah. You know, so yeah. So I think I think it's cool to kind of like understand that journey that we've taken, to understand what we're looking to give everybody, and hopefully that what we can give through this podcast is just a love for Pokemon.
Yes.
And a love to grow the community. So I think definitely, you know, we're going to be doing a weekly format. So we're going to be putting out an episode every single week. We're going to be covering things like rulings. We're going to do interviews. We'll take questions from you all. We want to make it interactive as well. So send us your information, or send us your questions and topics that you want us to talk about. But not only that, but we want to talk about, you know, rulings that we've encountered in our own league. Maybe, you know, from a regional that they streamed, and there's a ruling that people are like, whoa, what does this mean? We want to be able to break that down for you. We want to be able to be transparent to let you understand more about the game and more about the community and things like that, you know. And then we're also going to be talking about, how do you become a professor? You know, where do you find your leagues? How do you be successful in growing your league? You know, and handling the tough topics, like dealing with.
It's not always just a straight shot, easy road.
Yeah,
you're gonna have those encounters where it's really tough. You're gonna have sibling rivalry.
Yeah.
You're gonna have tough calls to make, and it's gonna test your patience sometimes.
Yeah,
but it is very, very rewarding.
Yeah, for sure. And we want to like cover those kind of topics for not only, but like for players and like people who are starting, you know, how to figure out how do I start. Hey, even like Pokemon parents who are like, have kids who are interested and want to learn, how do I get them started? What does it mean to be a junior and a senior in this competitive world? And like, what kind of things should you know to help your kid along the way? Mm-hmm. And also like just being open about talking about anything with Pokemon, because there is a lot of stuff that's Pokemon's fun. Yes, it's a game, it's a card game that children play, that adults also play a lot more than children. However, there's a lot of tough stuff about it, especially about the professor journey, having to give your first penalty, your first warning.
Yes, your first game loss.
Your first game loss.
That's terrible.
Oh my gosh. And then, you know, like, and also like just running your first event. Or having those hard conversations with your store owner or league owner about how do we compensate pricing? How do we do this? How does this work? All those kind of things we're going to talk about and more, you know, whatever comes out. But like, we really want this to be something that helps everybody. I think I said earlier, like, I want every episode somebody to walk away like, oh, I didn't know that. And that was cool to learn. Mm-hmm. And now I'm going to use that to better myself, better my Pokemon community, better my league. And it just makes it better for everybody. So I think that's pretty cool. What about you, Ashley? What do you want to get out of this?
I feel like you've covered a lot of it. But yes, I would like to pretty much everything that you've said, but also just use this as an opportunity to expand my skills as a professor too. Because I remember the first challenge that I helped you with, and it was completely nerve-wracking, and I'm not the best talker. And so even just getting up in front of just our small group, it was a lot. So maybe me giving tips for people who are kind of like me, who are a little bit more reserved, and hey, even though you feel like this, you can still become a professor, and it's just something that you can work on and improve yourself and also help the community. Because even if you're a little bit more like shy or whatever, you can still make a difference. Like I go in every single week and the kids are all like, "Oh, Ashley,
Yeah.
you're here."
Local celebrity.
Yes, the local celebrity. So, you can definitely make a difference in the things that you do. And that's kind of what I want to do. I just want to help make a difference in somebody's competitive journey, professor journey, Pokemon journey, just a way for me to help out other people. That's really my end goal.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's exactly what we want to do. So that's great. So yes. So with that, send us your questions.
Yes, please.
Send us, whatever question you have about rulings, about where do I find the rules of Pokemon, like whatever things you have, send them to us. It's tmtalkpodcast@gmail.com. And you send us whatever you want us to talk about, we'll cover. Or we'll try to, at least.
Yes. We will do our best. No, we can't take all the suggestions, but this is going to be a weekly podcast. So even if we don't cover your question immediately, try and get to it for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So send it to us, tmtalkpodcast@gmail.com. And we look forward to hearing from you guys. So this was our first episode. I think it went really well.
I think it did too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can't wait for the next one. So the next one is definitely going to be us covering what's new in the 2026 year for Pokemon competitive TCG.
Yep, because there are some things that have changed.
Yeah, for sure. So if you know the rules already, be prepared for things that are changing, and we'll let you know about those. And if you're brand new to Pokemon competitive, this is a great time to jump on because, you get to learn all the new stuff and figure it out with us.
Yes, the beginning of the season is always the best time to start.
Yes, for sure. So thanks so much for listening. We look forward to talking to you all again. Once again, I'm Tommy.
I'm Ashley.
And thanks for listening to TM Talk.
Thank you.
You just used TM Talk. I hope it was super effective for you. Whether you're building a deck or building a league, remember, you've got this and we've got your back.
If today's episode boosted your stats, share it with your party. And until next time, keep training, keep teaching, and keep passing that knowledge on.